Today, I am reviewing the new film, Dandelion.
You're watching a movie with Silas.
Dandelion is a rated R film. It's a romance, 1 hour and 53 minutes, written and directed by Nicole Riegel. The cast, Kiki Layne, Thomas Doherty, Melanie Nicholas King, Brady Stabling, Jack Stabling, and Grace Kaiser. The story, Dandelion, played by Kiki Layne, a struggling Cincinnati singer-songwriter in a downward spiral, takes a last-ditch effort gig at a motorcycle rally in South Dakota where she meets Casey, a guitarist who walked away from his dream long ago. As Dandelion joins Casey's nomadic group of struggling musicians, the kindred spirits make a music together and strike up a whirlwind romance. The experience moves Dandelion from a narrow view of success to a deeper appreciation of her artistic journey and the discovery of a voice that is authentically her own. I have to tell you right now, this is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, film so far of 2024. Dandelion. And if you search for Dandelion, there are two films. And I think that's unfortunate. I think it's causing a little bit of confusion because when I first heard the movie coming out, I looked up the trailer and this trailer had not dropped. It was a different movie. I was very confused. And then finally it did. And I'm like, oh, I'm interested. Kiki Layne, if you know her work from, there's a film called Beale Street. I'm blanking on the full title, but Beale Street. It is, she's a wonderful actress, African-American actress. And this movie is sort of about folk life. It's like folk music, like a little more inspired by like Jewel, right? And I wasn't expecting that casting, which is wrong of me. Like, why? There's plenty. Tracy Chapman, another inspiration for the film. She's African English, I guess. She's not African American. She's African English, I believe. She's a black folk singer. I don't know why in my head it seemed odd, but I was also intrigued by it. So I watched it. Kiki, real life Kiki, she has a wonderful voice. Wonderful. She plays Dandelion and her acting is just wonderful. It's, I don't know how to describe it more than like delicate and specific. You see this vulnerability. I had to see this movie at home. The screener was online and I was into this movie like I think an hour when my wife came in and asked what I was watching. And I had to pause it. And I talked to her 15 minutes about this film and I got teary-eyed telling her because there's so much about the film that hurt me, like in a good way, right? I felt the pain that Dandelion has of having this dream of being a musician and different things have held her back. Not necessarily bad things that you need to do in life, right? But just the struggling desire, and then you're left trying to fulfill this art that people can maybe care less about. Other people aren't as interested, and that how hard that is. And you could see her admitting this pain. And the director, Nicole Riegel, did a fantastic job bringing this out. From everywhere between the camera choices they make to the way they edit the film, and they do some flashback kind of stuff. Flashback later in the film, they do some flashbacks to earlier in the film. Memories, recalling things, and the way she puts it all together. I had an interview with her, which you can also listen on the website. And I'm not sure if it'll release this week or next week, but I'll have it's a fantastic interview. And I talked to her about how she has a wonderful balance in this film of creating very artistic, beautiful shots visually, but that combines that with fantastic writing. And a lot of movies are one or the other. It's either very impressive and artistic cinematography, but maybe the writing, and when I say writing, I mean storytelling and dialogue. Sometimes those are pretty weak. This one, it's the strength is both of them. And I think that is wonderful. And it made me feel something like it's stirring inside. And I admit it could be because I'm an artist myself. Those of you that don't know me, I'm an actor, filmmaker with a desire to create things, stand-up comedy with a desire to create things. There's a scene where she's performing in a restaurant and nobody's listening, and it's heartbreaking. And I have had that doing stand-up comedy and nobody's listening, and it's heartbreaking. As an actor, I've been in plays where, people are engaged in watching because it's a play, but then you see a couple people who are like sleeping. That's my snoring sound for those of you that are listening on a podcast. It sounds kind of goofy. It's heartbreaking because you're putting your heart out there and people are not paying attention. But then you got TikTokers that are getting lots of views, and when it feels like maybe they're not trying as hard, but that's not necessarily true. I'm trying to get all this out here on TikTok too, right? And trying to become somebody online that's known as an influencer. But I think, but I have training. A lot of them have training, right? So just like, hey, it's just like any other field. Sometimes people break through and don't have it. Are you breaking through and making it does not mean you're any more skilled than someone else who didn't, right? Because you never know what's going to catch when. Anyway, that's really, really personal, huh? But the cinematography, the writing, and the story, it's just all just wonderful to me, for me. I think where people may lose the film a little is maybe near the end. Like I think some people are not going to like how it ends. We talk about her journey to an authenticity, but I think you're going to get some feelings toward the characters, like the love interest, and what they choose to do in this is going to make you really mad, and rightfully so. But I could see why that might turn some people off. It's just the journey. It's the journey. And I think it's a truthful journey. I think it's a truthful thing that can happen. But I think it's worth it. I think this has some beautiful scenes with music. The music, as I said, is one, not just sung well, but it's beautiful music. And the way they intertwine the music and the scenes and the creation of music is stunning. I think it's stunning. I'm going to say it. I think this is my favorite film of the year so far. I'm going to be pushing this. I'm going to be pushing this through the award season when that comes up. I'm going to mention Dandelion, and I hope that people will watch it. I think Kiki Layne deserves a nod. I think Nicole Riegel deserves a nod. And especially after talking to her, the director, and finding out how she's a collaborator. So she didn't cast the movie based on what she imagined. She found the right souls to fit these parts, and then adjusted the film, adjusted the dialogue and the actions to fit the actors. And that's true collaboration. And not all filmmakers do that. They're not true collaborators. Some people use actors as props, and she is definitely not one of them. And they definitely brought it to service the film, and the results, I think, are magnificent. This is not getting enough playing time in the theaters. It did start off with, originally it was only going to be shown in a few theaters, like 3 in the Seattle area. And now it's being shown something like 12. So the word is getting out a little bit, but a little slow for its release. And I think this is maybe an alternative release for July, right? So it's not a blockbuster film. It's not that type of film. So it's something else that you can go see when you want to escape and feel some art. But I do wonder, I guess my question is, why didn't you release this later in the year? I think maybe it didn't get enough jury awards in the festivals. It hit some festivals, but not enough to make that impact to go like, oh, I think this is going to get nominated. So it's up to us, folks. If you watch this film and you like it, please tell everybody you know about it. You already know that I'm going to give it in my rating system, love it, like it, or lose it. You have to know that I'm going to give this an absolute love it. I love this film. I want you to see it. And I want you to tell your friends to go see it if you also love it. I could be off base. I don't think I am, but I could be. I accept that possibility. But tell me in the comments. Tell me if you disagree about this film. I'm not done with the review. Is it rewatchable? Yes. It'll I'm going to watch it again. Absolutely. The lessons in the film, the lessons of Dandelion, like where to start. Take care of your responsibilities, but also follow your heart, live your passions, because ultimately you're sad if you don't, right? You have to keep following your passions, or you're going to be sad in the life you did, and possibly resentful toward those that you're there for, right? I think there's a big thing about being authentic in this, and you need, sometimes it is the pain that brings out your authentic self and your journey and figuring out who you are. There's lessons about the artistic journey in general and about why you do music, which music is just a thing in this, right? It is the symbol in this film that you can substitute any other art. Why does art exist? That is a question that it raises in it, and they discuss. And they discuss money. Like, do you do it for money? Like, or would it be nice to make money? They have those discussions about art. So every artist out there, I think you should watch this film. I saw a comparison to Once, that it goes, the movie Once, it heads in that direction, but takes a left turn. So maybe if you enjoyed that film, I don't know. It's been a long time. I'm trying to remember that film exactly, but if you like those films about the music journey or about artist journeys, I think this is a film for you. Check it out. It's at least worth a watch. Please, for me and Nicole, and listen to the interview I have with her. And you know what? And this tells you how good the film is to me. I have a standing policy that I don't review films that I've interviewed people for, because it can make things awkward, really, if I say something bad about it later, or if I didn't like the film. And so I decided a while ago that even if I like the film, I'm really not going to probably review it. But I think this film is that important to be one of the exceptions to my rule. Is I can't not talk about this film because I did an interview. It's too good. And so I think you should see it. That's the word. That's from me, Silas Lindenstein. Go see this film. It's playing in theaters now. Go wherever stop what you're doing and go watch the film right now. I mean, listen to this. Come to the end, like, comment, subscribe, do all that. Leave a review. Help me. Please help me get somewhere with this. I'm feeling the desperation of Dandelion. There's going to be a new film with me called, I don't know, called Rosebush. Call it Rhododendron. So the struggling movie reviewer trying to get his voice out there. So anyway, that's neither here nor there, but I do want to thank you for at least coming in and listening to my point of view about this film, whether it's on video or on the podcast, or even, hey, going to the website and reading whatever I drop on there. I'm doing limited written reviews now, trying to focus on the verbal and the visual. But thank you for being a person who's opening your heart and your ear holes and listening to me for a little bit. But mostly, I want to thank you for watching a movie with Silas Lindenstein.
You're watching a movie with Silas Lindenstein. In the theaters you find this. So go and press play and rewind this. This picture is timeless. Love it like it or we lose it, can't find it. And we ain't keen on being reminded about the film if it isn't tough. We spend a lot of time at the cinema. It's just me and my friends, we watch plenty stuff. For movies, yeah, I've been above. Whether big or they small, no, for me don't make a difference. Love them. You're watching a movie with Silas Lindenstein. In the theaters you find this. So go and press play and rewind this. This picture is timeless. Love it like it or we lose it, can't find it. And we ain't keen on being reminded about the film if it didn't hit. No, gotta lose it. Watch movies with my friends, bringing joy, that's the blueprint. So come on and let's do this. Leave pain behind us and relax your mind. Come watch a movie with Silas. Yeah.